Hello，各位網友大家好啊！我哋今日又要嚟死唔知幾多萬次啦，改咗個 title， 改咗少少 title 啫。我哋去據點嗰度，首先就係修行所，咁就整翻個修練場先。因為你唔做呢啲咁嘅修練嘅任務呢，任務呢個系列唔知點解好奇怪。你唔做啲修練任務呢，你就學唔到技能。呢個係練習毛嚟嘅，唔關事嘅。呢個係練習毛嚟嘅，唔關事。唔係要去呢度。咁我應該係去咩先啦？去玩住嗰啲要魔化嘅修練場先啦。因為佢係有幾種妖怪嘅，當然暫時我就係一個啦，應該要換啊。聽聞話黃色嗰個妖怪係特別易用啲嘅。包二圓圈。咦？哎頂！妖怪技三角形或者正方形。唔得嘅。 撳唔到喎。精力用盡，而且個圓圈唔見紅色嘅。我頂個肺啊！幾時先可以教武士嗰啲技能啊？ 哦，佢可以掉矛嘅。等先，影樂神源。幻同信。哎呀，一開，哎呀，唔緊要啦，咁用返佢啦。一開波嗰陣時冇揀到啱嗰個靈體添，頂！嗨 ，hello。睇下先。被傳前打刀，太和傳打太刀。追擊可以回復。屌有幾難？我覺得第二集難啲喎。我覺得第二集難啲喎。哇！抗常世常暗，百鬼化身。裝備多個百鬼之可以發揮出嚟嘅組合效果。先近距離打到敵人嘅時候回復體力，防禦反應，攻擊力要魔法時加30，吸收精華後賦予精力回復，精華量表增加15%。我印象中係冇第二集咁難咯。試下呢個先。哇！但係佢打百鬼之海之後就遮住咗我髮型。堅忍百鬼化身，唔使啦。原來打第一個任唔使啦。原來打第一個任務已經過鬼咗個 DLC 嘅等級啦，已經。我頂佢肺。感應寶物幸運反應， 太刀技能。先啊！因為我學到呢招技，先至學到呢招技，先學到呢招技。睇攻擊力加2，特此之利，磨練武器術，不動心，操刀之利。OK， 你嘗試。齋用太刀，同埋咧係有火槍嘅隻 game，其實係有火槍嘅。咁你之後會火槍。永暗森林，建議等級4，即係相對比較簡單，有2隻木靈，咁就好難揾咯。撈得幾快喎又，當佢係鬼啊！咁多劍重嘅，木靈的跳蚤市場，4個箭同酒壺 ，OK。
秀の字、さっさと霊石を集めて早めに引き上げよう。
我哋開始喺呢度啊嘛，個森林係3條分岔路，呢度就係正前方啦。屌！估唔到喎，咁快嘅呢啲人。我屌！佢嗰啲嘢冇事有冇咁勁啊？咁咁多刀都唔死嘅點解？ 誒，就喺呢度。屌，搞錯！咦，佢係喺棵樹入邊生火啊！哦，そうですね，原來係捷徑嚟嘅。但棵樹上得去喎。點解上？呢度上面會有個血刀蟲呢？上面冇怪嘅喎。OK， 既然我哋拱冧到棵樹啦，咁你過去睇係咩環境先？條根本就射唔到啦，咁遠。啲木輪咁易揾嘅呢一集。The fuck？ 屌！我都掹翻嗰支箭出嚟，撞鬼啊！蝕咗啊！冇嘢啦，冇嘢啦，千祈唔好行錯路跌落去就得㗎啦。 哦，原來得翻中間嗰條路係可以行。咁不用多説，呢個就係 boss 啦，係咪？唔係下面唔係呢個人啊。係入邊呢隻一定係妖怪先係 boss 㗎啦，係咪先？哦，嚟啦！我屌！喂，邊有得咁㗎？我 parry 咗佢咁多次，佢咁樣嚟揾個冇得 parry 嘅嚟壓鳩我，有冇搞錯啊？我個屌！真係手一不慎嘅啫喎，仆街啊！哇！我頭先打嗰時明明唔係咁好打㗎。黐孖筋！ Fuck！ 執到嗰把已經勁過晒所有打返嚟嗰啲，唔係已經勁過晒所有任務送嗰啲，一次麻筋。我未反啊！我唔知講咩好，我唔知講咩好，我都未。What？ 哇！佢個招嘢究竟幾時先到㗎？佢招嘢究竟幾時先叫到啊？啊，係咪真係唔應該用？ What？ 有時咁易打，有時咁難打嘅。火肉彈。哇！打幾個人都死咁滯。哇！屌！
欲しがる奴がいるなんてな。ボロい商売だぜ。
咦？點解度唔俾入啊？係啊，係撐隻角咯。不過佢變咗惡魔都有角嘅呢隻 game。粉紫色頭髮，用大太刀嘅大波妹，係啦。其實幾啱人王嗰個設定，因為娜魯梅亞佢嗰個戰鬥方式係着重於呢個嘅防守反擊。咁你如果係玩防反嘅話，防反嘅人王其實係幾識用嘅。睇下先。圓鬼呢一個都係掉矛，係先啊！命中可增加擾力，體力加200，持續性傷害不會導致死亡，強攻擊精力傷害加15，對敵人近距離傷害加1.6。妖怪技命中可以吸取體力 A， 咁仆街啦！陣間係 PS4 直播啊！咪先最高級鐵甲片乘3，哎呀，仲未有段做嘅，有冇搞錯啊？煙焰之鬼 PS5 直播啊！陣間係。我開定出嚟先。
こちらが13桜での仕入れの品になります。
悪くない輝き、なかなかの一品じ
ゃ。やはりお目が高い。さすが道産様。これからもごひいきに。霊石には少々鼻が利きます。
猿のくせに鼻も利くとはな。調子のいいやつめ。
いずれは私めも道産様のように仏の前で肉を食うほどの豪気さを身につけたく思うとります。
妙なおだて方をしよって。そこまで気負うなら新しい仕事があるぞ。
ぜひともこの猿藤吉郎めにお任せあれ。
食うか
美濃國吹廬山。
道山様が言ってた刀鍛冶の村って前は
神社啊，升一升呢先。係唔夠㗎，主要係升大太刀嘅其實。一離開神社嘅範圍就開始有敵人，所以一定要非常之小心，睇下有咩新嘢先。又係被前傳打刀。全家大海，冇啊！哇，真係〜11呢嘅紫裝，唔係喎，稀有盾牌種類等級排序，唔係喎，我呢件而家係最高呢嘅喎，等級排序，衝刺精力，引術術力。妖！我個引術都未，唉，咁耐都未開放引術系統㗎，有冇搞錯啊？
ミノの不穏、この山奥にまで及ぶとは。
咦，原來係可以哦。唔通可以兜入嚟呢個後邊嗰度斬佢嘅？頭先係睇。呢度就應該係俾你返嚟嘅路啦，咁樣。唔係喎，我用些少零食。我要4500啊嘛， 先升到下一 level 嘛。其實好戇鳩嘅，我一拜完神，陣間咪出翻嚟咯，佢哋。開始啦！開始啦！哦，仲有分零鐘，仲有分零鐘，倒數緊啫，倒數緊啫。誒，唔係有嘢㗎，切！睇下係咪有個地方係可以陰鳩到佢哋？樓上呢個弓箭手啦，咦？誒，咁矛嘅喂！
やるな。
嗰下冇體力，我嗰下冇體力，就咁啊收咗工。 有冇箭啊？啲箭嚟使下先啦，大佬啊！都係唔會行過去嘅，過嚟啊！你過嚟啊！過嚟，就係為咗引怪啫嘛。呢個 game 係冇得跳嘅，亦冇得爬，即係我唯有又係行翻上去嘅啫。如果我要執嗰嚿嘢嘅話，哇！咁少甲幾條友，送喎，簡直就係、
早くみんなに知らせねえと。
又有妖怪貓貓。哇！使唔使咁蒙啊？
Something that came out of the developer meetings. It's much more the case that we had a dream of what might be possible 5 years from now, and then worked out a number of steps we could take to set us on that path. So here again are the three principles. The first being enabling the desires of developers to drive the hardware design. To me, the SSD really is the key to the next generation. It's a game changer, and it was the #1 ask of developers for PlayStation 5. As in, we
我哋而家聽緊嘅就係呢個嘅 PlayStation 5嘅發佈會啦。
That was a discussion we were also having internally. It was clear that the presence of a hard drive in every PlayStation 4 was having a positive impact. A lot of things that would simply have been impossible at Blu-ray disc speeds were now possible. At the same time, though, in 2015 and 2016, when we were having these conversations, developers were already banging up against the limits of the hardware. And a lot of developer time is being spent designing around slow load speeds. I want to focus in on just one number here, which is how long it takes to load a gigabyte of data from a hard drive. The difficulty being that hard drives are neither particularly fast nor flexible. If all your data is in one block, which is frankly not very likely, you can load 50 to 100 megabytes a second, depending on where the data is located on the hard drive. Let's assume it's on the outer edge, which means loading a gigabyte takes 10 seconds. If you compress your game packages, you can fit more data on the Blu-ray disc and also effectively boost your hard drive by we support zlib decompression on PlayStation 4 that gets you something like 50% and 50%. Unfortunately, it's really likely that your data is scattered around in various files on the hard drive, as well as sorted from multiple locations within those files. So lots of seeks are needed, 2 to 3 milliseconds each. My rule of thumb is that the hard drive and only a third of its time actually loading data. Putting all of that together, a gigabyte is very roughly 20 seconds to load from a hard drive. Now, a gigabyte is not much data. Games are using 5 or 6 gigabytes of RAM on PlayStation 4, so boot times and load times can get pretty grim. Or to put that differently, as a player, you wait for the game to boot, wait for the game to load, wait for the level to reload every time you die, and you wait for what is euphemistically called fast travel. And all of that leads to the dream. What if we could have not just an SSD, but a blindingly fast SSD? If we could load 5 gigabytes a second from it, what would change? Now, SSDs are completely different from hard drives. They don't have seeks as such. If you have a 5 gigabyte a second SSD, you can read data from 1,000 different locations in that second, pretty much at speed. As for time to load a gigabyte, this is next gen we're talking about, so memory is bigger. Instead, we should be asking how long to load 2 gigabytes. And the answer is about 1/4 of a second. I mean, that's amazing. We're talking 2 orders of magnitude, meaning very roughly 100 times faster. Which means at 5 gigabytes a second for the SSD, the potential is that the game boots in a second. There are no load screens. The game just fades down while loading a half dozen gigabytes and fades back up again. Same for a reload. You're immediately back in the action after you die. And fast travel becomes so fast it's blink and you miss it. As game creators, we go from trying to distract the player from how long fast travel is taking, like those Spider-Man subway rides, to being so blindingly fast that we might even have to slow that transition down. Pretty cool, right? But for me, this is not the primary reason to change from a hard drive to an SSD. The primary reason for an ultra-fast SSD is that it gives the game designer freedom. Or to put that differently, with a hard drive, the 20 seconds that it takes to load a gigabyte can sabotage the game that the developer is trying to create. I think almost all of us in the room have experienced this, maybe in different ways. Say we're making an adventure game and we have 2 rich environments where we each want enough texture.
唔會行咁耐一個咩都
What
冇
you can do,
啊
as！long as you have a long staircase or elevator ride or a windy corridor where you can ditch the old assets and then take 30 seconds or so to load the new assets. Having a 30-second elevator ride, more realistically, you probably chop the world into a number of smaller pieces and then do some calculations, sight lines, and run speeds like we did for Haven City when we were making Jack 2. The game is 20 years old. All those twisty passages are there for a reason. There's a whole subset of level
係呢度
this sort of work, but still, it's a giant distraction for a team that just wants to make their game.
妖，我明明聽到有木鈴嘅聲㗎，但係我見唔到喺邊喎，真係。
gigabyte a second target was to eliminate loads, but also part of the reason for that target was streaming. As in, what if the SSD is so fast that as the player is turning around, it's possible to load textures for everything behind the player in that split second? If you figure that it takes half a second to turn, that's 4 gigabytes of compressed data you can load. That sounds about right for next gen. Anyway, back to the hard drive. Another strategy for increasing effective read speed is to make big sequential chunks of data. For example, we might group all the data together for each city block. That removes most of the seeks, and the streaming gets faster. But there's a downside too, which is that frequently used data is included in many chunks and therefore is on the hard drive many, many times. Marvel's Spider-Man uses this strategy, and though it works very well for increasing the streaming speed, there's a massive duplication as a result. Some of the objects like mailboxes or news racks are on the hard drive 400 times. What I'm describing here are things that cramp the creative director's style. Either level design gets a little bit boring in places, or the data is duplicated so many times that it no longer fits on the Blu-ray disc. And you end up with hard limits on the player's run speed or driving speed. The players can't get back on the road. And finally, I'm sure many of you have noticed that after a patch download, PlayStation 4 will sometimes take a long time to install the patch. That's because when just part of a file has been changed, the new data can be downloaded pretty quickly. But before the game boots up, a brand new file has to be constructed that includes the changed portion. Otherwise, every change would add a seek or 2. Even so, you can occasionally start. With an SSD, though, no seeks, so no need to make brand new files with the changes incorporated, which means no installs as you know them today. There's yet one more benefit, which is that system memory can be used much more effectively. On PlayStation 4, game data on the hard drive feels very distant and difficult to use. By the time you realize when you use the data, it's much too late to go out and use it. So system memory has to contain all of the data that you use in the next 37 or so games. That means a lot of the 8 gigabytes of system memory is
見到啦，喺屋
waiting
頂啊！
there to be potentially used. On PlayStation 4, though, the SSD is very close to being low RAM. Typically, it's fast enough that when you realize you need a SSD, you can just load it from the SSD and use it. There's no need to have lots of data parked in system memory waiting to potentially be used. A different way of saying that is that most of RAM is working on the game's behalf. This is one of the reasons that 16 gigabytes of GDDR6 feels right for PlayStation 5. The presence of the SSD reduces the need for a massive intergenerational increase in size. So, back to the dream of the SSD. Here's the set of targets. Boot the game in a second. No load screens. Design freedom, meaning no twisty passages or long corridors. More game on the disk. More game on the SSD.
好撚戇鳩，我點解跌落去呢？
The reality, though, is that the SSD is just one piece of the puzzle. There's a lot of places where bottlenecks can occur in between the SSD and the game code that uses the data. You can see this on PlayStation 4. If I use an SSD with 10 times the speed of a standard hard drive, I probably see only double the loading speed, if that. For PlayStation 5, our goal was not itself faster. It was that game loads and streaming would be 100 times faster. So every single potential bottleneck needed to be addressed. And there are a lot of them. Let's look at check-in and what happens when its overhead gets 100 times larger. Conceptually, check-in is a pretty simple process. Data is loaded into system memory from the hard drive or SSD. It's examined. A few values are tweaked to check-in, and then it's moved to its final location. At the SSD speeds we're talking about, that last part, moving the data from one location to another, takes roughly an entire next second. And that's just the tip of the iceberg. All the larger, that will triple the frame rate as soon as the player moves, and that massive stream of data starts coming off the SSD. So to solve all of that, we built a lot of custom hardware, namely a custom flash controller and a number of custom units in our main chip. The flash controller in the SSD was designed for smooth and bottleneck-free operation, but also, for example, there are 6 levels of priority when reading from the SSD. Priority is very important. You can imagine the player heading into some new location in the world and the game requesting 2 gigabytes of textures. And while those textures are being loaded, an enemy is shot and has to speak a few dying words. Having multiple priority levels lets the audio for those dying words immediately. On one side, that flash controller connects to the actual flash dies that supply the storage. To reach our bandwidth target of 5 gigabytes a second, we ended up with a 12-channel interface. 8 channels will be in. The resulting bandwidth we achieved is actually 5.5 gigabytes a second. With a 12-channel interface, the most natural size that emerges is 800 gigabytes. The key question for us was, is that enough? I mean, it's tempting to add more, but Flash certainly doesn't come cheap, and we have a responsibility to our gaming audience to be cost-effective with regards to what we put in the console. Ultimately, we resolved this question by looking at the play patterns of a broad range of gamers. We examined the specific games that they were playing over the course of a weekend or a week or a month, and whether that set of games would fit properly on the SSD. We were able to establish that the friction caused by reinstalls or redownloads would be quite low, and so we locked in on that 825 gigabyte size, while also preparing multiple strategies so that those who want more storage can add it. I'll go through the details in a moment. Back to the flash controller. On the other side, it connects to our main custom chip via 4 lanes of jam. And inside the main custom chip is a pretty hefty unit dedicated to I/O. Before we talk about that, let's talk about PlayStation 4 used 0. We decided to move it to 5, but on my 2017 tour of development, I learned about a new format called RAD. It's like Zealand's smarter puzzle. Simple, similar types of output, but about 10% better, which is pretty good. That means 10% more on the UHD Blu-ray disc. Kraken is only available for even though we have already the faster industry standard. Half of the are using it or being ready to use it. So we hustled and built it. One capable of handling 5 gigabytes of Kraken. After decompression, that's itself is outputting as much as 22 gigabytes a second if the data happens. By the way, that compressor equates to 9 of our Zen. That's what it would take to decompress the Kraken stream with a conventional CPU. There's a lot more in the custom I/O unit, including a dedicated DMA controller. The game can direct exactly where it wants to send the data coming off of the SSD. This equates to another Zen 2 core or 2 in terms of its column performance. Its primary purpose is to remove check-in as a bottleneck. There's 2 dedicated I/O coprocessors and a large RAM pool. These aren't Zen 2 cores. They're there principally to direct the variety of custom hardware around them. One of the coprocessors is dedicated to SSD I/O. This lets us bypass traditional file I/O and its bottlenecks when reading from the SSD. The other is responsible for memory mapping, which I know doesn't sound like anything related to the SSD, but a lot of
佢
developers
仲講緊個 SSD， 究竟要講到幾時啊？
and this too can become bottleneck. There are coherency engines to assist the coprocessors. Coherency comes up a lot of places. Probably the biggest coherency issue is stale data in the GPU caches. Flushing all of the GPU caches whenever the SSD is read is an unattractive option. It could really hurt the GPU. So we implemented a gentler way of doing this. We're overwritten address ranges and custom scrubbers in several dozen GPU caches to pinpoint evictions of just those address ranges. The best thing is, as a game developer, when you read from the SSD, you don't need to know any of this. You don't even need to know what data is being read. You just indicate what data you'd like to read from your original uncompressed file and where you'd like to read it. Loading it happens invisibly to you and at very high speed. Back to the dream. Thanks to all of that surrounding hardware, our 5.5 gigabytes a second really should translate into something like 100 times faster I/O than PS4 and allow the dream of no load screens and super fast streaming to become a reality.
佢都冇嘢睇，好彩我冇開個 stream 嚟睇啫。
Expandability of our SSD is going to be quite limited, and you may very well want to add storage to whatever we put in the console. Now, the kind of storage you need depends on how you're going to use it. If you have an extensive PlayStation 4 library and you'd like to take advantage of backwards compatibility to play those games on PlayStation 5, then a large external hard drive is ideal. You can leave your games on the hard drive and play them directly from there, thus saving the pricier SSD storage for your PlayStation 5 titles, or you can copy your active PlayStation 4 titles to the SSD. If your purpose in adding more storage is to play PlayStation 5 titles, though, ideally you would add to your SSD storage. We will be supporting certain M2 SSDs. These are internal drives that you can get on the open market and install in a bay in the PlayStation 5. As for which ones we support and when, I'll get to that in a moment. They connect through the custom I/O unit just like our SSD does, so they can take full advantage of the decompression, I/O coprocessors, and all the other features I was talking about. Here's the catch, though. That commercial drive has to be at least as fast as ours. Games that rely on the speed of our SSD need to work
或者
flawlessly.
落嚟就得，上去就唔得。
When I gave the Wired interview last year, I said that the PlayStation 5 SSD was faster than anything available on PC. At the time, commercial M2 drives used 3.0, and 4 lanes of that capped out at 3 seconds. In other words, no PCIe 3.0 M2 drives with PCIe 4.0 are now out in the market. We're getting our samples and seeing 4 or 5 gigabytes a second. By year's end, I expect there will be drives that saturate 4.0 and support 7 gigabytes a second. Having said that, we are comparing apples and oranges, though, because that commercial M2 drive will have its own architecture, its own platform, and so on. For example, the ND system M2 drives can use. And that scheme is pretty nice, but hard drive. You can hook up a drive for priority levels, definitely, but our custom I/O unit has to arbitrate rather than the M2 drive. And so the M2 drive is a little extra. That commercial drive also needs to physically fit inside the bay with Unlike internal hard drives, there's unfortunately no standard for the height of an M2 drive, and some M2 drives have giant heat sinks. In fact, some of them even have their own fans. Right now, we're getting M2 drive samples benchmarking in various ways. When games hit beta, as they get ready for the PlayStation 5 launch, we'll also be doing some compatibility testing to make sure that the architecture of particular M2 drive isn't too foreign for the games to handle. Once we've done that compatibility testing, we should be able to start letting which drives will physically fit and which drives will fit appropriately high in the testing. It would be great if that happened by launch, but it's likely to be a bit past it. So please hold off on getting that M2 drive until you hear from us. Okay, back to our principles. Balancing evolution and revolution is the second. This was definitely a recurring theme with the GPU. We need new GPU features and capabilities. If we only have more performance, it's not really a new generation of consoles. Of course, many of these capabilities result in more performance. That's part of why the PlayStation 5 teraflop is more powerful than a PlayStation 4 teraflop. But we aren't just looking for the performance. We also need the ability to do something that could not happen. And we need higher performance per watt. Every time we double the performance of some GPU component, we don't want to find out we've doubled the power consumed and then reduced. But at the same time, we have to make sure the GPU can run PS4 games. And we have to ensure that the architecture is easy for the developers to adopt. Now, backwards compatibility was handled masterfully by AMD. They treated it as a key need throughout the design process. As our solution to adding new features without blindsiding developers, we made sure that if there were new significant features, it would be optional to use them. The GPU supports ray tracing, but you don't have to use ray tracing to make your game. The GPU supports primitive tracing. You can release the game on PlayStation 5 without making it change. Before I get into the capabilities of the GPU, I'd like to make clear 2 points that I'd like to make. First, we have a custom AMD GPU based on their architecture. AMD is continuously improving the device and the tech. For RDNA 2, their goals were, roughly speaking, to reduce power consumption by re-architecting the GPU to put data close to where it's needed, to optimize the GPU for performance, and to add a new, more advanced feature set. But that feature set is malleable, which is to say that we have our own needs for PlayStation, and that can factor into what the AMD roadmap becomes. So collaboration is born. If we bring concepts to AMD that are felt to be widely useful, then they can be adopted into RDNA 2 and used broadly, including in PC GPUs. If the ideas are sufficiently specific to what we're trying to accomplish, like the then they end up being just purpose. If you see a similar discrete GPU available as a PC card at roughly the same time as we release our console, that means our collaboration with AMD succeeded. Introducing technology useful in both worlds. It doesn't mean
What do you?
This continuous improvement in AMD technology means it's dangerous to rely on teraflops as an absolute indicator of performance, and CU count should be avoided as well. In the case of CPUs, we all understand this. The PlayStation 4 and PlayStation 5 each have 8 CPUs, but we never think that meant the capabilities of the It's the same for CPUs. For one thing, they've been getting much larger, adding new features, adding lots of features. In fact, the PlayStation 5 CPU transistor count for a PlayStation 4 CU. Second, the PlayStation 5 GPU is backwards compatible with PlayStation 4. One way you can achieve that but that's of course a better meaning that even as the evolves, the logic
Wow.
still available in backwards compatibility modes. One advantage of this strategy is that once backwards compatibility is in the console, it's in.
Wow, go.
A cost down.
屌，冇晒雲添。
Backwards compatibility like it did on PlayStation 3. Achieving this unification of functionality is a series of efforts by AMD. Roadmap advancement creates a potential benefit. Running PS4 and PS4 titles at boosted frequencies has also added. The boost is truly massive this time around, and some game code just can't handle it. Testing has to be done on a title-by-title basis. Results are excellent, though. We recently took a look at rankings, and we're expecting almost all of them. With regards to new features, as I said, our strategy was to try to break them, but at the same time not to require use of the new GPU. For more than a decade, we've been restriction on game engines. Software handles vertex processing, but for the most part, dedicated with triangles and other geometry that the vertices form. That means it's possible to do even basic such as aborting the vertex if all geometry that uses it is uncertain.
What do you mean?
Geometry, which brings handling of triangles and other primitives under full programmatic control. As a game developer, you're free to ignore its existence and use the PlayStation 5 GPU as if it were no more capable than the PS4 GPU, or you can use this new intelligence in various ways. Simple usage includes performance optimization, such as removing backface or off-screen vertices and triangles. More complex usage involves something called primitive shaders, which allow the game to synthesize geometry on the fly as it's needed. It's a brand new thing. Using primitive shaders on PlayStation 5 will allow for a broad variety of techniques, including additional procedural details to close-up objects, and improvements to particle Another major new feature of our custom RDNA 2-based GPU is ray tracing, using the same strategy. New specialized unit called the intersection engine, which can calculate the intersection. To use the intersection, first you build what's called an acceleration. It's data in RAM that contains all of your data. There's a specific set of very in your shader program, you use a new instruction that asks the intersection engine to check array against the VPH. While the intersection engine is processing the requested ray triangle or ray box intersections, the shaders are free to do other work. Having said that, the ray tracing instruction is pretty memory intensive, so it's a good mix with logic heavy. There's of course no need to use ray tracing. PS4 graphics will run just fine on transition. But it presents an opportunity for those of us. I'm thinking it'll take less than 1 million rays a second to have a big impact on audio. That should be enough for audio occlusion and some reverb calculations. With a bit more of the GPU invested in ray tracing, a very nice global illumination. Having said that, adding ray-traced shadows and reflections to traditional engine could easily and full ray tracing. How far can we go? I'm starting to get quite bullish. I've already seen a PlayStation 5 title that's successfully using ray tracing-based reflections in complex animated scenes with only modest costs. Another set of issues for the GPU involved size and frequency. How big do we make the GPU, and what frequency do we run it? This is a balancing act. The chip has a cost, and there's a cost for whatever we use to supply that chip with power and to cool it. In general, I like running the GPU at higher frequencies. Let me show you. Here's two possible frequencies, roughly at the level of the PlayStation 4 Pro. This is in the box. Don't take these. If you just calculate
What? Ew.
Actually, performance is noticeably different because teraflops is defined as the computational capability of the vector. That's just one part of the GPU. There are a lot of other units. And those other units all run faster when the GPU frequency is higher. At 33% higher frequency, the resolution is 53% better. Processing the command output goes faster. The L2 and other systems have that much higher bandwidth, and so on. About the only downside is that system memory is 33% further away in terms of cycles. But the large number of benefits more than counterbalance them. As a friend of mine said, a rising tide lifts all boats. Also, it's easier to fully use 36 CUs in parallel than it is to fully use. When triangles are small, it's much harder. So there's a lot. Assuming you can handle the result of power, which frankly we haven't. Part of the reason for that is, historically, our processor setting CPU relied on some heavy-duty guesswork with regards to how much electricity and how much heat will be produced as a result inside of the console. Power consumption varies a lot from game to game. When I play God of War on the PS4 Pro, I know the power consumption is high just by the But power isn't simply about any controller. It's about the minutia of what's being displayed and how. It's counterintuitive, but processing dense geometry typically consumes less power than processing simple geometry, which is, I suspect, why Horizon is a low makes a process in the previous console has been to try and guess what the maximum power consumption is, which is to say, the worst and prepare a cooling solution that we think will be quiet at that power. If we get it right, and if we get it wrong, the console will be quite loud for the higher power games, and there's even a chance that it might overheat and shut down if we misestimate power too badly. PlayStation 5 is especially challenging because the CPU supports 256-bit native instructions that consume a lot of power. These are great here and there, but presumably only minimally used. Or are they? If we plan for major 256-bit instruction usage, we need to set the CPU clock substantially lower or noticeably increase the size of the power supply. So, after much discussion, we decided to go a very different direction. We built a 36. Mind you, RDNA 2 CPUs are long, each has 62% more transistors than so, if we compare transistor count, 36 RDNA 2 CPUs roughly 58 PlayStation 4 CPUs. It is a fairly sizable GPU. Then we went with a variable frequency strategy. Completely different paradigm. Rather than running at constant frequency and letting power vary we run at essentially constant power and let the frequency vary based on the workload. We then tackled the engineering challenge of a cost-effective and high-performance cooling solution designed for that specific power level. In some ways, it becomes a simpler problem because there are no more unknowns. There's no need to guess what power consumption the worst-case game might have. As for the details of the cooling solution, we're saving them for our teardown. I think you'll be quite happy with what the engineering team came up with. So, how fast can we run the GPU and CPU with this strategy? The simplest approach would be to look at the actual temperature of the silicon die and throttle the frequency on that basis. But that won't work. It fails to create a consistent PlayStation 5 experience. It wouldn't do to run a console slower simply because it was in a hot room. So rather than look at the actual temperature of the silicon die, we look at the activities that the GPU and CPU are performing and set the frequencies on that basis, which makes everything deterministic and repeatable. While we're at it, we also use AMD's Smart Shift technology and send any unused power from the CPU to the GPU so it can squeeze out a few more pixels. The benefits of this strategy are quite large. Running a GPU at 2 gigahertz was looking like an unreachable target with the old fixed frequency strategy. With this new paradigm, we're able to run way over that. In fact, we have to cap the GPU frequency at 2.23 gigahertz so that we can guarantee that the on-chip logic operates properly. 36 CUs at 2.23 gigahertz is 10.3 teraflops, and we expect the GPU to spend most of its time at or close to that frequency and performance. Similarly, running the CPU at 3 gigahertz was causing headaches with the old strategy. But now we can run it as high as 3.5 gigahertz. In fact, it spends most of its time at that frequency. That doesn't mean all games will be running at 2.23 gigahertz and 3.5 gigahertz. When that worst-case game arrives, it will run at a lower clock speed. But not enough. To reduce power by 10%, it only takes a couple of percent reduction in frequency. So I'd expect all things considered, the change to a variable frequency approach will show significant gains for PlayStation gamers. The final of our 3 principles is about finding new ways. It's important for hardware to find new ways to expand or deepen gaming, and that's what led us to a focus on 3D audio. As players, we experience the game through the visuals, through audio, and through the feedback we receive from the controls, such as rumble or haptic. Personally, I feel a game is just dead without audio. Visuals are, of course, important, but the impact of audio is audio team on the game project is really long. For example, on PlayStation 4, there's getting just a fraction of a chord. That's not much of a computational resource, particularly when you consider that the visual but audio processing needs to happen at almost 200 times a second. So, it's been tough going making forward progress on audio with PlayStation 4, particularly when PlayStation 3 was such a beast when it came to audio. The SPU itself was almost perfect. Simple pipelined algorithms could really take advantage of asynchronous DMA and frequently reached 100% utilization of the floating point unit. There's unfortunately nothing comparable on PlayStation 4. Probably the most dramatic progress in the PlayStation 4 generation has been with virtual reality. The PSVR hardware has its own audio unit. It supports about 50 pretty decent 3D sound sources. And this provided a hint as to where we could go with audio, as well as some valuable experiments. Not to oversimplify, but here were our goals for audio on PlayStation. The first goal was to bring audio to everyone, not just VR users or sound artists. That meant audio the console. It couldn't be peripheral. The second goal was to support hundreds of sound sources. We didn't want developers to have to pick and choose what sounds would get 3D effects and which wouldn't. We wanted every sound in the dimension. We finally wanted to really take on the challenges of presence and real. Now, when we say presence, we need the feeling that you're actually there. You've entered the matrix. It's not, of course, something we thought we could perfectly achieve. The idea was that if we stopped using just a rain sound and instead used lots of 3D audio sources for raindrops hitting the ground at all sorts of locations around you, then at some point your brain will take and begin to have this feeling of real presence inside the virtual world of the game. This has the capacity to affect your appreciation. Just like music. It's just your sense of where the audio is coming from. Right of you, behind you. This can immerse you further, and it can also directly to use dead space.
Wait.
I know, old school. You're fighting enemies in fairly dark, spooky locations. Back in the day, if you played the game using the TV speakers, you could tell
真係唔識用槍咁樣，打普通怪都 OK， 一打大怪咧，即刻成個策略錯晒。
With headphones, you could tell that the enemy was somewhere on the right, which let you deduce, if you couldn't see it, that it must be somewhere behind. But with 3D audio with good locality, the idea is you know the enemy is precisely there. And you turn, and you turn.
What?
So, how do we know where a sound is coming
from
in the first place? Well, all those bumps and folds in the ear have a meaning, evolutionarily speaking. Based on what direction the sound is coming from, sound waves bounce around inside the ear, there's some constructive and destructive interference, and the result is a change in volume. The phase of the sound also changes depending on what path the sound wave took to reach the ear canal. These volume changes and phase shifts are different for each direction and also vary depending on the frequency of the sound. Head size and head shape also impact the sound. The way that the sound changes based on direction and frequency can be encoded in a table called the Head-Related Transfer Frequency,
做乜鬼啊？
HRT. Here's part of it. The vertical axis is the frequency. The horizontal axis is the direction, front, back, left, right, and the color gives the degree of attenuation of the sound. Each HRTF is as unique to an individual as a fingerprint. In fact, you're looking at mine. Here's how we measure an HRTF. We've taken hundreds of pictures. We put a microphone in the subject's left and right ear canals, and then sit the subject down in the middle of an array of 22 speakers. We then play an audio sweep from each speaker as we rotate the subject. In the course of 10 or 20 minutes, we're able to sample the HRTF at over 1,000 locations. Using an HRTF for rendering audio creates unparalleled quality, but it's computationally expensive. The simplest way to use an HRTF, process a sound source to make it appear as if it's coming from one of those. Unfortunately, the processing has to be done time domain, so there's multiple factors needed for every sound source for every audio. That's a lot of multipliers. This computational complexity is a factor for our strategy, and meant we had to bite the bullet and design and build a custom hardware unit for 3D audio. Collectively, we're referring to the hardware unit and the proprietary algorithms we run on it as Tempest 3D Audio Tech. The meaning of 3D audio and technology should be pretty obvious here. As for Tempest, I feel it really reflects our goals with audio. It suggests a certain intensity of experience and also huge. We're calling the hardware unit that we built the Tempest. It's based on AMD's GPU technology. We modified a compute unit in such a way as to make it very close to the SPUs in PlayStation 3. Remember when I said that they were ideal for audio? So the Tempest engine has no caches, just like an SPU. All data access is via DMA, just like an SPU. Our target was that it would have more power than a CPU, thanks to the parallelism that a GPU can achieve, and that it would be more efficient than our GPU, thanks to the SPU. The goal being near 100% utilization of the CMU's vector units. Where we ended up is a unit with roughly the same combined. If we were to use the same algorithm, that's enough for something like 5,000 sound sources. But of course, we want to use more complex algorithms, and we don't need anything like that number of sounds. It would have been wonderful to have simpler strategies, such as using Dolby Atmos to achieve our goals, but we wanted 3D audio for all, not just those with licensed soundbars we like. Also, we wanted many hundreds of sound sources, not just the 32 hours. And finally, we wanted to be able to throw an overwhelming amount of processing power at the problem, and it wasn't clear what any.
都唔使扮我啫係嘛？
In fact, with the Tempest engine, we even got enough power that we can allocate some to the games, to the extent that games want to make use of convolution and other algorithms that are either expensive or need high bandwidth. But the primary purpose of the engine remains. Now, 3D audio is a major academic research topic. It's safe to say that no one has all of these.
哇，想點啊佢？
That has to be invented, tuned, or implemented to realize our vision for 3D audio is immense. For example, use of HRTF. Before, I talked about making a sound from one of those 1,000 HRTF sample locations. But for high-quality 3D game audio, we have to handle other possibilities. The sound source might not be at one of the 1,000 HRTF sample locations, so we have to blend the HRTF data from the closest locations that we have sampled. The sound source might be moving, which needs very special handling that blend keeps changing and then can cause artifacts in the resulting file. Or the sound source is outside, meaning it should feel as if it's coming from the area rather than the outside. There's also whole categories of approaches to be handled. 3D audio uses individual processing of 3D sound sources, but alternatively, ambisonics can be used for 3D audio. Ambisonics speaks pure harmonics used in computer graphics. And finally, there's audio devices. The player might use headphones or TV speakers, or have a higher-end surround sound setup with 6 or more speakers, all of which need different approaches. That's a lot of variations. It's nice to have the computational resources of the Cantonese engine, but it's clear that achieving our ultimate goals with 3D audio is going to be a multi-layered step. Having said that, headphone audio implementation is largely complete at this time. It was a natural place for us to start. With headphones, we control exactly what each ear hears, and therefore the algorithmic development and implementation are more straightforward. For TV speakers and stereo speakers, we're in the process of implementing virtual hearing. The idea being that the sound can be made to feel as if it's coming from any direction, even behind you. Virtual surround has a lot in common with 3D audio on headphones, but it's more complex because the left is the right speaker and vice versa. We have a basic implementation of virtual surround sound up and running. We're now looking at increasing the size of that sweet spot, which is to say, making the area you need to be in to feel the 3D effect larger, and we're also working to boost the sense of locality.
佢唔係就係要我拎嗰個咩俾佢係嘛？拎唔到喎，好想我邊條友咁勁。
What we can do to bring virtual surround sound to a similar level, after which we'll start in on setups with more speakers, such as 6-channel surround sound. It's now to the point where some of the PlayStation 5 games in development are extensively using these systems. One of the game demos allows you to toggle between conventional PlayStation 4 style stereo audio and our new 3D audio. I listened with just an ordinary pair of over-the-ear headphones and wow, I could feel a difference. 3D audio has that dimensional feel to it. Conventional stereo audio feels smashed flat by comparison. The improvement is obvious. So, a big advancement, but have I entered the matrix? Does my brain believe I'm really there, like I was talking about earlier? Well, the answer is no, but you've probably caught on to what's missing, namely whose HRTF. It wasn't on, it was the default HRTF. The audio team analyzed hundreds of files and chose the one that felt closest to it totally. This shows us in my HRTF on the right, you can see that the general features are much the same. With the default HRTF, as I said, 3D audio sounds pretty good. When I use my HRTF, though, the audio reaches a higher level.
What?
Which is to say that when using headphones in my HRTF, I occasionally even think a sound is coming from the real world when it's actually coming from the game. A corollary to this is that there are a few people whose HRTFs are sufficiently far from the default HRTF, that's the red dot here, that they can toggle between PS4 style and PS5 style audio and not sense much difference. I've had a few people describe the PlayStation 5's 3D audio as sounding like a bit better stereo audio. Presumably they're the ones at the very end. Which means, what HRTF is using? I'd like everyone to be able to experience what I'm experiencing, but obviously it's not possible to do. That means HRTF selection and synthesis are going to be big topics going forward as the Tempest technology matures. At PlayStation 5 launch, we'll be offering a choice of 5 HRTFs. There's a simple test where you pick the one that gives you the best locality. That's just the first step, though. This is an open-ended research topic. Maybe you'll be sending us a photo of your ear, and we'll choose a neural network. Maybe you'll be sending us a video of your head, and we'll make a 3D model of you synthesized. Maybe you'll play an audio game to tune you, subtly changing as you play, and home in on the HRTF that gives you the highest score, meaning that it matches you the best. This is a journey we'll all be taking together over the next few years. Ultimately, I'm committed to letting everyone to experience that next level of realism. Hopefully, I've been able to illustrate a bit about our design and decision-making.
使唔使咁高攻啊？
Why PlayStation 5 has the feature set that it does. Now comes the fun part. We get to see how the development community takes advantage of that feature set. I'm hoping for the completely unexpected. Will it come from audio, ray tracing, the capabilities of the SSD, or something else? I guess we'll find out soon enough. Thank you for your time today.
又有吓唔係嘛？佢嗰個直播完㗎啦。What the fuck？ 乜嘢都冇嘅？屌講啲嘢同 Xbox 一樣，跟住又唔俾部機人哋睇，然之後咁算㗎啦。哇！屌，早知唔開呢度啦，戇鳩。雖然嗰隻鬼係冇咗，但係都唔係咁啫嘛。我 PS5 嗰個直播黐孖筋嘅，咁就算㗎啦。咁啊當我做到嘢㗎啦。唔得，我而家要執翻嗰個咩啊？ 佢咯，鳩噏咗成個鐘，乜叉都冇嘅，點解可以？黐線！佢真係對自己嘅鳩噏咁有信心㗎？我以為起碼都有部機睇下，大佬黐線冇嘅原來。咁 Xbox 都會。記啊，加唔加記好呢？佢唔夠膽拎出嚟俾人睇啊！嗰下先好笑啊嘛！黐線，喺度齋噏做乜嘢啫？我一聽咗咁耐啊，佢唯一嘅分別啊，就係即係唯一嘅分別啊，就係佢嗰個 SSD 係唔使買 proprietary 咯，係可以要自己嗰啲咯。即係可以自己買 NVMe SSD， 只要佢 compatible 得啦。主要我話知佢咩樣啫，總之我要睇到啦。仆街隻木能喺入邊。喺上邊啊！屌，佢係有弓箭手喎，我 feel 到。喂，呢度。屌嗱聲，妖嗱聲，仆街！
神聖なタタラ場に汚れる恐ろしやたたりがあるぞ。
黐線，呢啲要點行啊？最憎周圍都係火㗎。我黐線。食到冇撚晒藥㗎啦嘛。哇！咁呢個死人門點開啊？我仲要上到3樓落返嚟先開到，有冇搞錯？呢個係啊！呢隻 game 係一浸溫泉。咁梗係啦，大佬啊！你去到3樓先落返嚟先至。本多係咪真係中性？睇返真係我真係唔知啊！點咩門都唔開得嘅？咩 game 嚟㗎呢隻？喂，搞錯擋唔到嘅，點上3樓啊，大佬？上3樓落嚟先至有一個神社咁大把，黐線點打啊？
「
中途啲怪就要照出喎。冇啦，佢唔搞都搞爛咗啦，冇噶啦。你成個 gen 咪佢就放棄咯，唔係點啫？最緊要係佢可以玩得翻之前嗰啲 game 啊，咁啊算啦，由佢啦。即係衰衰地啊，點衰啊都叫做可以玩多次咁啊！即係玩翻之前嗰啲 game 入面都 OK 嘅。我真係唔知啊！即係日系 game， 即係你話香港其實真係好睇日系 game 嗰個市場，你真係識飛都冇用，係咪先？即係人哋玩下手同你講，你有冇 P5 啊？係嘛？你有冇機戰啊？哦，咁跟住你就收咗聲啦，你微軟已經係咪先？你冇可能無啦啦會有 P5 同埋機戰噶嘛？有人中之龍係咪先？1、2、3、4、5、6你都唔會有7啦，好難做啊！唔識玩喎，真係。佢喺嗰個地方突然間有隻，連個鏡頭擺唔掂啦。咁但係我哋香港人嚟噶嘛，我哋淨係夠時間關心自己嘅市場嘅啫嘛。其他人你嗰啲理得佢咁多啊，係咪先？屌又暗箭，
やるな。
喂！我屌，好嬲啊！我今日連嗰個鳩噏都睇埋啦，今日玩就係咁多先。屌嗱成，唉，我哋聽日都玩 Doom 啦，係咪先？呢隻我都唔知點樣試落去，真係太難啦！啲Dark Souls啲 game 對我嚟講真係太難啦。唔係好難講噶，你 FF7 有冇啊 ？FF7 Xbox One 好似冇噶嘛，我見佢就係得 PS4 嘅啫嘛，來來去去都係嗰個 promo， 係咪先？你得 PlayStation 4嘅啫嘛，冇辦法噶咁樣。SE 又唔幫你整，跟住微軟呢死都唔肯出，死啊！佢，我覺得微軟情願死啊，佢都唔會出嗰啲呢The Last of Us 嗰啲 game 嘅。 先？你個微軟真係佢係我唔知點解啊，冇得解啊佢唔知點解咧，永遠都唔會話請啲人翻嚟咧整 The Last of Us 啊咁樣咧，係咪先？即係整下係嘛，荷花雙燒單咁樣係咪先？佢明知人哋 Cyberpunk 之前嘅 Witcher 3都係賣得㗎，係咪先？我都唔明啊！咁多錢咁大間公司請人揼隻 Witcher 3出嚟，有咩問題啫？佢真係實揾刀行住條頸㗎啦，殺咗佢啦，佢都唔整嘅。我都唔明，成件事係濕鳩嘅，我只能夠話係濕鳩嘅。唉，我今日玩住咁多先啦。我聽日應該，如果佢解鎖係夜晚嘅話，就已經係 Doom Eternal 啦嚇。如果唔係嘅話，咁我都冇辦法。哇！你知唔知 The Last of Us、Spider-Man、哥洛夫，仲有荷花雙燒單嗰啲，佢哋唔係攞嚟賣錢嘅，嗰啲佢攞嚟賣機嘅，係咪先？你一部機一定要有一樣嘢係你係需要啲人覺得係值幾千蚊嘅，係咪先？因為部機係唔值幾千蚊嘅。冇一部遊戲主機係值錢嘅，喺玩家嘅心目中，係咪先？遊戲主機有咩咁值錢呢？冇咩咁值錢嘅，即係好似我買部電話俾你啊，係啊，話個 CPU 識飛嘅，成部兩支電腦懟咗落部 smartphone 度啊，咁啊點啊？冇 app 嘅喎，咁要嚟做咩呢？咁請問要嚟做咩呢？係咪先？嗰陣時你賣 Switch 啊，Zelda 都唔夠嘅，其實 Zelda 好多人都係玩唔掂啊，或者係唔係好識啊，係啦，根本就係嗰個銷情其實唔係好強勁嘅啫，最強勁係 Mario Kart，係咪先？跟住佢後尾再嚟多一次大亂鬥，呢啲係觸動世界嘅，大佬。呢啲先至係賣到機嘅嘢嚟噶嘛？我成日都同人哋講話唔係啊，薩爾達值3000幾蚊嘅，其實真係好抵玩嘅，買部 Switch 玩薩爾達，冇人聽你講啊！你試下，喂，買部 Switch 有 Mario Kart 玩喎，咁咪 OK 係啦。但係製作水平嚟講，你好明顯見到，其實薩爾達係勁過 Mario Kart 好多㗎，係咪先？冇辦法啦，係咪 ？Microsoft 其實係想行 Switch 嗰條路㗎，佢不停係咁狂出嗰啲 co-op 嗰啲遊戲，跟住你冇朋友嗰啲你就唔使買佢部機啦，咁樣即係同你講係嘛？咁但係你話去到用盡你自己嘅機能係嘛？你畫面真係靚係嘛？你真係要用盡啲機能，你係要用單機嘅大作鬥出嚟㗎嘛，揼出嚟㗎嘛，係咪先？人哋Cyberpunk幫你揼。人哋唔好揼 PC 版，做咩要幫你揼得咁靚啫？幫你部機揼得咁靚啫？我做咩唔去揼靚啲嘅 PC 版啊？有咩問題啊？冇，你除咗自己係整一啲好靚嘅單機 game 之外，冇人會幫你噶。喺 Sony 咪就係啦，佢全部嗰啲獨佔 game 全部都係蝕錢噶，佢賣部機都係蝕錢噶，係咪先？最緊要你部機有人買咗啦，人哋覺得嗰隻 game 係真係值咁多錢啦，買咗部機啦，你個 market share 自然會大，自然大就會賺到錢噶啦。唉，我真係唔明啊。唔係咁，但係呢個世代呢，其實呢最大殺手鐧呢，其實都已經唔係獨佔 game 啦，係鬥平。鬥平唔係講部機啊，鬥平係講緊呢個 Xbox Game Pass 上面好多 game， 而且月費好平。咁就係你部機先有呢個咁嘅 service，而跟住所以你部機就變相好抵啦，係啊，都 OK 嘅。呢個反而係一個反勝嘅策略。部機有啲咩內容，有啲咩料，有幾快， 有幾勁，全部都冇用嘅。Xbox Game Pass 係唯一反勝嘅招數嚟。價錢都冇所謂嘅，其實價錢都冇所謂嘅。價錢呢啲其實講緊其實因為有成本價噶嘛，所以其實係試水溫嘅啫，試水溫嘅啫。你中意 set 幾高都得噶，唔得咪減價咯，係咪先？冇所謂嘅。OK， 我哋睇下聽日有冇 Eternal 玩。我哋今日玩住咁多先，多謝收睇，拜拜。